"You think you're tough?" the taller boy said, stepping forward with a nasty grin. He shoved Amani hard, making her stumble. "This school belongs to us. You don't belong here." Amani didn't fall, but her twin sister, Zara, saw it all, and something in her eyes changed. It was quiet, almost invisible, but dangerous. The boys didn't see it. They didn't notice the shift in the air. They had no clue what was coming next. What if they had known? What if they realized the girls they were picking on had trained for 6 years to fight like warriors? Too late now. Amani and Zara Johnson were used to being ignored, or worse, judged the moment they walked into a room. At 13, they had just started at Ridgewood Middle School, and right away, their dark skin and curly hair made them stand out. Not in a good way. They were used to moving around a lot because of their parents' jobs, so they kept their heads down, avoided drama, and tried to stay quiet. But this time felt different. The stares were colder, the whispers were sharper. Still, they had a secret. For 6 years, they had trained in karate, kicking, blocking, and mastering moves most adults couldn't pull off. They had reached black belt status, and they weren't scared anymore. They had always followed one important rule: never throw the first punch. But they never said anything about the second. And as the bullying got worse, both girls knew they were done hiding what they could do. It started small, like most things do. One morning, Amani opened her locker and found a crumpled note stuck to the inside. 4 words were written in sloppy, angry letters. "Go back to Africa." Her hands tightened, but she didn't say a word. She just showed Zara, and they both knew it had begun. After that, the bullies got bolder. First came the bumps in the hallway, shoulders slamming into theirs by accident. Then came the whispers, the cruel laughs, the way people turned their heads like they didn't see what was happening. Jason and Tyler were always nearby, grinning like they owned the school. The worst moment came after the final bell one rainy Thursday. Zara was walking out alone when they stepped in front of her. Jason grabbed her backpack and yanked it off. Books spilled out into a dirty puddle. "Oops," he said, laughing. Then came the words that burned deep. "Guess you gotta pick 'em up, monkey." Zara froze, too shocked to move. But Amani was already there. Her jaw clenched, her fingers curled into fists. That moment, the look in her eyes said everything. She was done watching, done staying quiet. Something was about to change. The twins had always followed one rule: never start a fight. But that didn't mean they wouldn't finish one. Jason smirked as he shoved Zara again, harder this time. That was it. Amani stepped forward, cracking her knuckles. No more silence. No more standing back. Zara didn't even hesitate. She moved fast, faster than anyone expected. In one smooth motion, she grabbed Jason's arm, twisted it behind his back, and slammed him into the lockers. He let out a yelp, completely shocked. Tyler rushed in from the side, thinking he could scare them. Big mistake. Amani slid aside, dodged him, and swept his legs right out from under him. He hit the ground with a thud. Both bullies scrambled to their feet, red-faced and angry. "You're dead," Jason growled. The twins looked at each other. No fear, just fire. "Game on," Zara said. Everything changed after that. The fight wasn't just about fists, it was about finally standing up. And for once, they weren't just defending themselves. They were sending a message. They weren't easy targets. Not anymore. By Monday morning, everyone at Ridgewood Middle had heard about the fight. Whispers followed Amani and Zara through the halls. 2 quiet girls had taken down the school's biggest bullies. Jason and Tyler weren't just embarrassed, they were furious. They weren't used to losing, and they weren't planning to let it go. That afternoon, the twins heard the rumors. Jason was bringing backup. Bigger guys, older ones, 5 in total. They were waiting outside after school, ready to make the twins pay. But Amani and Zara didn't run. They showed up, calm, focused, ready. They stood back to back, surrounded by a circle of angry faces. Jason grinned, holding a thick metal chain in his hand. "Nowhere to run," he said. Zara felt fear crawl up her spine. Just for a second. Had they made a mistake? Then Amani stepped forward. With one spin, she kicked the chain right out of Jason's hand. It clattered to the ground. Zara ducked low and knocked two boys off their feet in one move. The fight exploded. Punches flew. The twins moved like they were one person, fast, smart, unshaken. And this time, nobody was walking away with a smirk. Jason rushed at Amani, swinging wildly. But she didn't flinch. She caught his wrist mid-air and twisted it until he dropped to his knees. "Still think we don't belong here?" she whispered. He didn't answer. None of them did. The fight was over. The other boys groaned on the ground, stunned by how fast they had been beaten. Amani and Zara stood tall, barely out of breath. The crowd that had gathered around was silent. Everyone had seen what happened, and nobody would forget. From that day forward, the twins weren't just the new girls, they were something more. The teasing stopped, the mean notes vanished. Even the whispers turned into wide eyes and quiet respect. Rumors spread through school fast about how the two girls had destroyed Ridgewood's toughest bullies. Some called them dangerous, others called them warriors. But Amani and Zara didn't care about the names. They walked the halls with their heads held high, not looking for trouble, but not hiding anymore either. For the first time, they felt like they belonged. And maybe, just maybe, this school could finally be home. Amani and Zara didn't need to fight again. They had made their point. No one messed with them after that. The halls of Ridgewood Middle felt different now, safer, quieter. Their classmates treated them with respect, not fear, but something real. For the first time in a long time, the twins weren't thinking about when they'd have to move again. They were thinking about staying. They knew who they were: fighters, sisters, and more than anything, survivors. They'd stood up for themselves when no one else did, and now every step they took through those halls reminded everyone: Amani and Zara Johnson belonged here.